Hi everyone and welcome to this year's What I Made This Year video. I'm so happy to be filming this. I've tried the last days to get to this point just in front of the camera showing you all of my knits, and I'm so happy that today's the day. This is something that I'm looking forward to all year, and I'm very excited to show you everything I knit this year. As you can see, I have a big chaotic pile of all of the things I knit this year, and that's because I just filmed the B-roll for all of this, and I do not feel like folding all of this again. So we're just gonna go with it and just pick out of this pile randomly. So we're doing this standing up today, and I also have my little notebook with me where I put down the most important things that I want to say about each piece. But we will just kind of see how it goes and try to keep it a little bit more basic today, because I do want to talk more about how the pieces make me feel, how much wear I got out of them throughout the year, and what I really loved and didn't love about each of the pieces. And also I have some thoughts about these everything I made in a year videos that I want to share. I just want to tell you that I love knitting. I have been loving to knit for so many years now, and with all of these influencers also starting to knit and like girls really embracing it and sharing online, I feel like it's very easy to get stressed about knitting, and that's something that I try to hold to a minimum this year, because there was a lot of things going on in my life. I was pregnant, then I had a baby, then I got married, and now we have moved to a new city. And all of these things kind of showed me that knitting really is my number one hobby and the thing that kind of grounds me and makes me chill and like, you know what I mean. And sometimes when I open Instagram and open YouTube, I feel like the need to get more things on my needles, cast things on, and I just want you to remember, knitting is a fun hobby. Knitting takes time, knitting should take time, and I really wanted to focus this year on things that make me happy and not things that I would be like happy to share or trends that I really wanted to participate in. I still have some trendy pieces in my collection, but yeah, this year I focused on really doing things that made me happy, and also I did a lot of gift knits. So that aside, I want to now start with the actual what I made portion of the video. So let me tell you a couple of facts about my knitting this year, because I looked things up and made a list. So my most knitted item of clothing this year was by far a cardigan. And I do have, I would say, 50% adult knits and 50% child knits this year. And in both of those categories, I knit cardigans. I knit 3 adult cardigans and 2.5 baby cardigans. That half one is not finished, that's why I'm not showing it today, but I did knit on it. I then also knit 2 vests, 1 adult vest and 1 child vest. So this year was the year for me of knitting stockinette back and forth, which was something that I didn't really expect, because I really hated doing that until now. I really wanted to build my wardrobe up and have more cardigans though, so that's what I did, and I am now really happy to have them in my collection, but ready to stop with the cardigans for now. My most used yarns this year were 2 yarns that I have loved for a long time and that I have knit with a lot before. I would say this year I ventured out and tried different yarns as well. Terrero Natura Ulysse is the top runner, and then the second one I used a lot was Knitting for Olive Merino. Just because of the baby knits. I love making baby knits out of that yarn. So that's the top two yarns. My most used designer for patterns was, for one, Petite Knit. Also because of the great baby knit selection she has. And then the second most knitted designer, I would say, like feelings wise, maybe not garment wise, was Cynthia Valley with her book Moosh and Friends. I made several of those this year. The pattern I knit the most this year was the Baby Bear Bonnet by Knitting for Olive, because that one is a great gift knit. So I knitted 4 times in total, once for my daughter and then 3 of them as a gift knit. I'm over the Baby Bear Bonnet now for a while, but it's really cute. I had a total of 25 knits this year, and I gifted 11 of those 25 knits. I made 13 baby knits, and I cannot tell you how many of them I'm going to show you today, because some of my knits are lost at the moment. I can't find them, so I won't talk about them in depth. I will just mention that I did it, and you'll have to trust me on that and look back on podcast episodes I did before. But I'll show you what I have, and I'm gonna start with that right now. So what I want to start with is my adult garment knits, which are mostly cardigans. The first cardigan I want to talk about is my Champagne cardigan by Petite Knit. This is it, and this is the first piece that I made this year. I made this Champagne cardigan out of Knitting for Olive, soft silk mohair, and merino held together. I used the colors Blue Tit and Dusty Blue Whale. So Blue Tit was the merino and Dusty Blue Whale was the mohair. That's what it's called. My favorite thing about this cardigan are the buttons. I chose these beautiful flower buttons from Die Mercerie, which is a knitting store in Munich. I just blanked there. I really like this cardigan. I think I would give it 4 out of 5 stars, and I would knit this one again. The only thing that I really did not enjoy about this cardigan is the thing that everyone doesn't enjoy about this cardigan, I feel like, and that was the double knit button band. It looks divine. It's very, very pretty, but it took me as long as it took me to make the rest of the cardigan. So that's that. I like the fit. I did a size small in this, and I am very happy with the size, the fit. I didn't make any modifications. I just knit it as it was. Oh, and I held the merino double because I was influenced by those twins who knit. They always do that, and I thought I would try that as well, and I'm happy with the outcome. I do not get the most wear of this cardigan. I don't know why. I think it's the combination of the buttons and then the very bright blue that it is. I'm more of a navy blue type of girl, so this is a little bit, you know, stronger, I would say, and doesn't always fit with everything I want to wear, but I still love it. And this one has not pilled whatsoever, so I would highly recommend using this yarn combination because it has held up very nicely. So my plan was to keep going with the cardigans, but I'm gonna throw those plans out the window and show you what I did with the rest of the blue tit yarn. And I made this cute, the lighting is not perfect. I made this, which is the top of the seaside set from Petite Knit. I don't like the bottoms that come with it because I think the butt is not big enough for the diapers I use, which are cloth diapers, but I love the top. I love that you can open the buttons. I think this is a really cute gift knit if you're looking for something to gift for a baby that's gonna be born. It has a big head opening, and I chose these lilac accent buttons, and as I said, used up the blue tit I have from my cardigan, so me and my baby can be matching, kind of. I didn't use mohair obviously, but that's that. Love this pattern, have done it multiple times, would do it again. Okay, back to the cardigans. The second cardigan I made this year was the Port Jacket by Ozetta. She just released the Port Cardigan, I think, which is a thinner gauge, thinner yarn combo. But I did the Port Jacket because I really loved the rustic look of it. And I must say that I am very, very happy with this jacket. I'm not gonna try it on because it's way too hot in here. What it looks like. I used Rerum Natura yarn in the weight Gilia, which is just 100% wool. It's very soft, it still feels really sheepy. And I held it with Ito Sensai in Orient Blue, which is a silk mohair. I kind of regret using the Ito Sensai because it was very old. My mom got it as a hand-me-down and she had it in her stash for forever, and she offered to give it to me because mohair is expensive and she had it, so I held it with the Rerum Natura yarn. But it does pill a lot, this cardigan, and maybe you can see it. I purposely didn't depill any of these things before filming. Yeah, it's pilling a lot, and I think it's because the mohair was kind of old. Like, it had a lot of fluff in it and it just wasn't fresh, but it's okay. I love this jacket. What I loved the most about this jacket was the collar. You do a lot of shaping in this piece, and well, short row shaping in the collar, on the arms, and that kind of makes for a very like grandpa aesthetic looking sweater. I also love this rib detailing on the arm, and yeah, this one I think was my most worn cardigan this year, out of the ones that I made and out of the ones that are in my wardrobe. Do I want to say anything more about this? Oh, I love the toggle buttons. I chose toggle buttons, which is what was recommended in the pattern, and really happy with that. On to the next cardigan. I'm gonna keep going with the one baby knit, one adult knit. So this thing here, this little number, is a baby cardigan I made, and I have to look up the yarn. Hold on. It is the Calendula cardigan. I can tell you that much. This is the Calendula baby cardigan, and It is by Sandra Magalahes. I'll put her name here. I'm sorry if I butchered that. And the yarn, I don't know the yarn. It's this really nice hand-dyed superwash yarn, and it is an Aran weight yarn. And I added black buttons that I cut, or like black navy buttons that I cut off another jacket of mine. Still very oversized. I think I did a size 12 months. And then the cardigan is actually, I knit this off gauge, so it turned out even bigger. But I love this with the sleeves rolled up. I think she looks really, really cute in this cardigan. I would love to have this for myself as well. Would knit this pattern again. It's so easy, especially with bigger yarn. It flies by and it makes for a very good baby knit. Also, I love a cardigan on a baby because you can just put it on and off so much easier than if you had a sweater. I still put sweaters on her, but cardigans are much easier for on the go as well. Okay, third adult cardigan is the cardigan number 9 by My Favorite Things. This is what it looks like. And this one I will put on for you because that's important. I knit this out of merino wool from Schafwollspinnerei Hofer, which is a German brand. It's called, like the main color is called Annabelle Tweed in light gray. And it has these really beautiful specks of color in it. You can see it. You can also see slight pilling, which is fine. I've worn this a lot. It pills a lot less than the port jacket with the Ito. And I did use Rowan's Kid Silk Haze with this. So I held one strand of the Annabelle Tweed and one strand of the Kid Silk Haze. And the Kid Silk Haze was in the color Pearl 701. I chose the Kid Silk Haze not because I needed it for gauge reasons, but because I wanted the color to be a little bit more warmer of a gray. This Annabelle Tweed is a very cool gray, which is great, but I wanted a little bit of a warmer tint to it, so the Pearl one kind of added a little bit of like pink undertones to the cardigan. I chose some like more, oh this lighting, I chose some more traditional like Bavarian buttons, which I also got at Die Messerie. They're metal buttons. They make funny noises when putting the cardigan on and off, but I love the look. I thought about using toggle buttons, but then I wanted to change it up from the port jacket, so I used those. I went for an oversized fit, as you can see. Let me give you a little spin. It's a little too oversized for my liking, and that's not a gauge problem, that's a size problem. I chose the size medium, and it's fine on the shoulders, like I think it turned out okay, but this part here is a little too bulky for my liking. Like there's too much fabric here, and I think if I had gone down one size, this would have been a little bit better, but I still love it. I wear it a lot. I love doing this cardigan with very baggy light wash jeans and then not buttoning it all the way, leaving it open to like a white t-shirt or something, and that makes it look really cool, I think. Not right now because I'm wearing this blouse underneath, but that's how I like to wear it. I would knit this pattern again. I loved the saddle shoulder construction. Oh, also I forgot to say, I purposely chose 3 different cardigan construction, like yoke construction methods. The champagne cardigan is a raglan, the port jacket is a drop shoulder, and then I did this saddle shoulder, and I must say I like the saddle shoulder more than I thought I would. I think if it were to fit me a little bit better on my shoulders and not be this oversized, it would be my favorite. But the port jacket just fits me a little bit better, that's why I prefer it. But I did make a point to change it up and change it up from my usual, which is raglan. I normally like raglan. I also knit, but that was a gift knit for my nephew, the Eva cardigan by Petite Knit in the size 3 years. And I used a super wash merino yarn in a gray color with that. Maybe I'll put a picture here. That was also a different construction. I don't know what that's called, but I did all of those different construction methods, counting that Eva cardigan. I did 4. Let me just see what I wrote down. Oh, I also didn't rate any of the patterns. The cardigan number 9 gets 3.5 stars for me because it's a little bit too big, but I still get more wear out of it than the champagne cardigan because of the color. Drum roll for the only piece of summer knitting Sophie did this year, and I didn't even finish it. The top sole by Mochi Knits. This is a finished object, but technically it's not finished because I wanna change it. Top sole by Mochi Knits. I started this in June because I was influenced to do some summer knitting. I used Sandnes Garn Line in burgundy, and this is what it looks like. Lighting. This is the top sole, and I had just had a baby, and I thought that I was gonna have huge boobs, which I did have for a couple of months there after giving birth. They now have gone again, and I'm left with what I had before. So I did not need to make this top sole in the size that I made, and you can't really tell because I'm wearing that blouse, but it's too big. Like, I wanted a cute top that I don't have to wear anything underneath, and if I wore nothing under this, you could see too much of me. So my plan with this, it's done. I bound it off. It's done. I just need to add the ribbon. But I still have some of the line left, and I will reopen this and then elongate it and then give it to either my sister or a friend that is a little bit more blessed in this department, so that it gets somewhere, because I'm not gonna frog this whole thing because it took me ages. This is a sport weight yarn, 3.5mm needles I knit this with, I think. So I'm not gonna frog it. Give you a little spin. That was summer knitting. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna do summer knits this year, but you might still see some summer knits in my podcast episodes because it's too tempting. And it's annoying to knit warm things in summer. You want to knit something summery and match with everyone on Instagram, but this was a fail. Just had to put the charger for my camera in. I hope you can hear me. I'm thinking of getting a mic for these videos. Let me know if I should invest or if it's okay this way. Okay, next thing that I knit is an accessory, and I made this out of scrap yarn. I'm not sure which color. I think this was a mohair by Lana Grossa that I once did a Sunday cardigan, I think it's what it's called, by Petite Knit with. This is now a Sophie scarf by Petite Knit. This is the color. And it's a tiny one because I used just the little rest that I had. And I love that I used that up because I wasn't going to use it for anything else. And I like the look of it, especially with this blouse. Can you see it? Or is the lighting so bad? This is it. I like it, especially like in the summertime, because it's so easy to throw into any bag and keep warm when it gets a little bit more chilly out at night. I would knit the Sophie scarf again, obviously, because it's a great, easy, quick pattern. Great gift knit as well. Knit 2 of the weekend headbands by Petite Knit, which look like this. I showed them in my podcast. One of them I gifted to one of my dear friends. The second one I have for myself, and I don't find it anywhere at the moment, so I don't have anything to show you, but I did really like that pattern. I wanted to mention it, and I would knit it again because it's great if you like putting your hair up like me and don't want to have big hats on all the time. Love that. Also knitted the Romanticist bandana with, this is a picture of it that I also gifted to my friend, that I knit with Juniper Moon Farm yarn in the, it's called Zoe, in this beautiful lilac color. And I also made a Rigmore's bonnet for my baby out of that same yarn. All of these things are not with me right now, so that's that. I'm not gonna talk more about them. I then made, this is my most recently finished object, and I made a Sophie hood. And I was influenced by my friend Alicia with this because she made this, and she made it in a very light lilac color, almost the same as the Romanticist bandana that I gifted her, because she looks great in that color. And so I had to copy her and do the same thing, but in a different pastel. So I chose this Camaros Snefnook yarn in the color light pink, and this is how it works. I like the way it looks with the bonnet on. I love the way it looks. Ow, got caught in my earring. I love the way it looks with the little hood down like this. Oh, I'm sorry. I love the way it looks with the hood down like this. And I love how soft the Snefnook is. I would knit this pattern again, but I do not need a second type of, like this type of garment hood. I don't need 2 of them. So maybe for a gift knit, because it did go by quite quickly. My other friend Emma also did one in light blue, but she gifted it to someone. So that would have been an opportunity for the 3 of us to all match in our pastel Sophie hoods. I hope that she will do another one, and then we can maybe take a cute picture, because that's always nice. 5 out of 5 stars. But the yarn kind of annoyed me. I had a faulty skein of this Camarose yarn and I had to weave in a lot of ends because there was a lot of factory knots in it. But I still love it. Now, the stars of today's podcast episode, and I don't have everything I did by this designer with me because I did gift 2 of my makes to other people. Talking about these 3. They're from the book Moosh and Friends by Cynthia Valley, which I got last year, 2024. And I've knit a lot from because I'm obsessed with making these little toys. They bring me so much joy, honestly. I would rate every pattern I did so far a 10 out of 5 stars. I love them. They make me so happy. I always have to have one on my needles. Like I had one on my needles at any point, and I honestly prioritized making these stuffed animals over all of my other knits, like regularly, because they're just so fun to make and they're so precious, and I just love them. So not with us today is Henry the orangutan, which I gifted to my sister this Christmas. Also not with us is Dodo the duck, little duckling, which I gifted to my niece that was born at the beginning of December. And the 3 I have with me today are Aggie the sheep in her fluffy loopy vest, and then Alphonse the pig and Mira the pig. That's just the names they have in the book. I made 2 pigs because I had all of this hand-dyed yarn and I didn't want to waste it on anything else. It's the perfect pig color, and I did these back to back. So I did Alphonse first with his little cabled sweater and these beautifully crafted pants, and then I immediately cast on Mira with a little skirt, orange skirt, and pink pullover. Cynthia Valley is a genius for making these. You knit these top down, fingering weight wool on tiny needles. You could also knit them off gauge and make them bigger, but I love knitting on small needles, so I didn't. And the amount of work it must take to think of these patterns and then give them these amazing, amazing clothes to wear is mind-blowing to me. I wish I was this talented. Really, I love her. I think that's enough. I think you get that I'm obsessed. I just want to show you Aggie in more detail. So she has this vest. I gave her a little mother of pearl button and this bag, which also has so much detail. Like it has a drawstring. And then she has on this little pink dress that's checkered and that has crisscross straps in the back. She has little curls on her head. I'm so excited for my daughter to play with these, and I plan on making every single one of her patterns, and she has a new book coming out this year, so I have to be quick with making all the ones from the first book, which is exactly the opposite of what I told you at the beginning of this video. Slow knitting, progress knitting, not project knitting. But with these, it's different. I need them in my life. So that's that. I'm done talking about them. Okay, now I have a few little bits left. and I'm gonna try to wrap them up pretty quickly because they are baby knits. Actually no, I'm just gonna tell you what I want to tell you if you're interested. Oh, and I forgot one thing, one adult knit. Sailor slippers. Did not go well. These were supposed to be a size 43 EU for my boyfriend, and they barely fit me, and I have a size 37 EU. Also, they kind of felted weirdly, and they have these like edges in them. And also they're not the colors that I picked out for myself. I have a whole basket of what's it called? Cloud by Drops. Snow by Drops. And I don't want to make any more. Let me show you something actually. I started another one for my mom in a different color. And I'm so scared, like it's almost done. It only needs the I-cord. I'm so scared of finishing this and putting it in the wash and it turning out like this again that I'm just putting it off for now. But maybe you'll see me really happy with 3 more pairs of these in the future. Or you will see me making other felted things with the yarn instead. Who knows? Sailor slippers would actually not do this pattern again, but have all of this wool and want slippers, so will do it again. Doesn't make any sense, but I'm stubborn with things like that. I wish I had this for myself. This is the Holger sweater by Petite Knit. I knit this in a size 1 year, and I used Drops Nepal for the sleeves and the collar that I had just scraps left over. And then the body is actually Cardigan in this dark brown color that my mom had left over as a scrap from a sweater she did for my sister. This is a sweater that my baby will wear next year, I think, because it's way too big. Like not even, I can't put this on her as like a cool oversized piece. It's just too big all around, but I'm really excited for her to wear this in the future. And I loved making the Holger sweater. I will definitely make more. I give this 5 out of 5 stars, this pattern. It's great. And you can really modify it. Like you can stripe the arms, you can stripe the body, you can stripe one arm, you can do all different shades of stripes and not stripes and colors and cuffs, and it's a great stash busting project as well. I told you that I made the Rigmore's bonnet for baby at the beginning of the year in a smaller size, and then she grew out of all of her little bonnets that I made her last year and at the beginning of the year. And then I made 2 bonnets in the sizes 6 to 9 months for this winter because she's now 6 months old. The first one I'm not going to go into super depth because I just talked about it on my podcast episode. It's kind of a self-drafted pattern based on the Juno hat by Sandnesgarn that I have in like a booklet collection, and I knit this up in Derrière Natura Ulysse in all different colors. The base is this nice beige, not beige, white, off-white color, and then I added a rainbow, which I love. She wears it a lot. 10 out of 10. We'll make this again in a bigger size, also with the rainbow, because it's so cute. Then the star of this year, the most knitted pattern of mine, the Baby Bear Bonnet by Knitting for Olive. I knit this up in Knitting for Olive mohair, held with Knitting for Olive compatible cashmere, which I think is a great alternative if you don't want to use mohair in baby knits, but still want to make it a little bit soft and achieve the gauge that is like wanted in this pattern. This one is just gray. I chose two like same colors, gray, light gray and light gray. They match, like the compatible cashmere and the mohair are the same color. I have made a dark brown version of this where I used bark and then brown bear in the compatible cashmere, and that made it like a little bit more variegated, which I also really loved. And I have made this, so I made two gray ones, one brown one, and I also made one in a sage color that I just gifted to my other niece that was just born, also in this. And then something to wake you up at the end of this video is the last thing that I have to show you, and that is also an item that I would love to have in my adult size, and that is the popcorn vest by Misha and Puff Studios. So Misha and Puff is a knitwear brand that I love for children that is ridiculously expensive because they make hand knits, but they're nice enough to actually have some of their patterns on Ravelry, including this little vest. And I made it for my baby, and I made it in a size 6 to 12 months, and she's wearing it now. She wore it on Christmas and I love it, and I'm gonna definitely make more. It was so fun to make, it flew by. The bubbles were so fun to make, and I used the Rerum Natura Gilia, so the thicker DK weight wool that they have. It's so soft, it's a great baby knitting wool, and I think this is my favorite knitted baby item I made this year. So that's a great note to end this video on, I think. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching my podcast episodes. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you to everyone who commented on a video. Not a lot of people watch my videos in comparison to other like creators on here, but I just really love making them, and I don't know, I'm definitely gonna keep filming these videos. Just thank you, I guess. And I'm excited for the new year. As I said in my last podcast episode, I am looking forward to spending a year in a little bit more of a peaceful state, because there was a lot of like change and things happening 2025 for us. So that's kind of what I want to do with my knitting as well. Just be a little bit more peaceful about it. I have kind of set a goal of not purchasing that much yarn this year and not purchasing that many new patterns, because I am not working. I'm home with my baby and I'm not earning my own money, and I just kind of want to budget a little bit better this year. And I did buy a lot of new patterns in the last 2 years, and I haven't looked at how much I spent on them, but I feel like it's more than I'm okay with for next year. So that's something that I kind of want to work with and kind of see what I have in my library, what I can maybe self-draft. Yeah, that's goals for next year. But another goal is to actually make a goal and like looking into the next year knitting wise video. We'll see if that happens, if I have the time to do that in the next couple of days. But thank you for watching. I'm done talking and I'm really bad at outros. So if you like this video, if you want to see more, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Bye.